Blake Snell has evolved into a titan of the mound and one of the absolute biggest superstars in Major League Baseball today. Just listen to the crowd roar as he mows down batter after batter, racking up 15 strikeouts in a single game. He strikes out the side here in the 6th inning with ruthless efficiency. The batter hits a helpless fly ball, Yastrzemski settles under it, and history is made. Blake Snell has officially thrown the first no-hitter of his entire brilliant career. But even though he stands as one of the premier pitchers in the league, a 2-time Cy Young winner, his lifestyle is definitely not the cookie-cutter athlete existence you might expect. He is known for being unfiltered and raw. During the global shutdown, he famously ranted about the logic of playing for reduced pay, saying it made zero sense to be isolated away from the people he loves and risk his health for pennies on the dollar. Before we dive into his luxury cars and gaming setups, let us rewind the tape to where this legend began and explore his insane trajectory to stardom. Blake Ashton Snell arrived in this world on December 4th, 1992 in Seattle, Washington. Born to Dave and Jane Snell, he grew up in a competitive house as one of 4 sons. He attended Shorewood High School, where he became a standout for the baseball team. During those formative years, he honed his craft at a training facility owned by his father, Dave, who knew the game inside out. His father had previously been drafted as a pitcher by the San Francisco Giants, passing down those genetics. In Blake's senior season, he was untouchable, recording a flawless 9-0 record with a microscopic 1.0 ERA. He sat down an incredible 128 batters. Following Snell's dominant high school campaign, the scouts had seen enough to know he was special. The Tampa Bay Rays selected him in the first round of the 2011 MLB draft. To sweeten the deal, he received a massive $684,000 signing bonus to skip college. He made his professional debut with the Gulf Coast Rays before earning a promotion to the Princeton Rays in 2012. He was steadily climbing the ladder. By 2013, he was pitching to a 5-1 record before moving up to the Bowling Green Hot Rods. He grinded there for 2 years until he got the call to the Stone Crabs. It was with the Stone Crabs that he showed his true ceiling, throwing his first professional no-hitter. After that season, he was rightfully named the Rays Minor League Pitcher of the Year. He started the 2015 season in God mode, allowing 0 runs in his first 21 games, which earned him a quick ticket to the AAA Durham Bulls. Watch the 1-2 pitch from Snell, he gets him swinging. That is the first strikeout of the year. After a clean 1-2-3 inning, he finished the season 15-4 with a 1.41 ERA. That dominance forced the front office's hand, and he was promoted to the Tampa Bay Rays 40-man roster. Let us briefly break down his rise in the big leagues. Snell made his major league debut in April of 2016 at the Cathedral of Baseball Yankee Stadium, instantly proving he belonged on the biggest stage. He freezes McCann for strike 3 through the rest of the 2016 season. Snell made 19 starts, finishing with a 6-8 record as a rookie. However, the sophomore slump hit him hard. He had a rough start to 2017 and was actually demoted back to Durham in May, but he returned to Tampa a month later with a vengeance, going 5-1 with a 3.31 ERA to close the year. Snell opened the 2018 season as the number 2 starter behind Chris Archer, but by June, he was the main attraction. Just look at this moment in his hometown. Facing the team he grew up watching, he was absolutely electric. How about that 7 consecutive strikeouts, tying an American League record? If you are Guillermo Heredia at the plate, you are just walking back to the dugout, and when your teammates ask what Snell has got, you just tell them not to worry about it because it is unhittable. That performance was a statement game. The homecoming moment was made even sweeter with 300 of his family members and friends cheering from the stands. At the time of the All-Star announcement, Snell was 12-4 with a 2.09 ERA, statistically the best in the league. Yet in a shocking twist, the lowest ERA of all qualified pitchers in the American League was not enough to get him named to the original roster. It was incredibly frustrating for him, as he felt he had made an undeniable case to be elected by his peers, but he used that anger as fuel. Snell finished his breakout season by leading the entire major leagues in wins and ERA. That November justice was served when Snell won the American League Cy Young Award. He topped the runner-up, the legendary Justin Verlander, by 15 points. Snell was named the opening day starter for the 2019 season. However, due to multiple unfortunate trips to the injured list, Snell finished that year with a 6-8 record across 23 starts. He finished the shortened 2020 season with a 4-2 record, but he saved his best stuff for when the lights were brightest. A dominant wildcard performance earned the Rays a trip to the ALDS. After defeating the Yankees, Snell locked down the Astros in Game 1 of the ALCS. The Rays advanced to the World Series, and in Game 2 against the Dodgers, Snell was a magician, allowing only 2 runs and striking out 9 batters. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. That strikeout starts the night for Snell, and he looked like he was going to cruise to victory. But in Game 6, one of the most controversial moments in recent baseball history occurred. Snell was pitching a shutout masterclass through 6 innings. With 1 runner on and 1 out, Snell was shockingly pulled by manager Kevin Cash for Nick Anderson. You talk about a short leash, 73 pitches, 2 hits, 9 strikeouts. The move backfired immediately. The Dodgers scored 2 runs in that inning and went on to win the World Series for the first time since 1988. Kevin Cash received heavy criticism from fans and media alike for the decision. Snell was heartbroken, simply saying he was disappointed and upset. He stated, "I just want the ball. I felt I did everything I could to prove my case to stay out there." He congratulated the Dodgers, but the sting remained. That offseason, the Rays traded their ace to the San Diego Padres, pairing him with some of the biggest superstars in the game. Snell slotted in as the team's number 2 pitcher, but regressed a bit in 2021. However, legends always bounce back. In 2023, he returned to elite form, making 32 starts with a 14-9 record and 234 strikeouts. He went on to win the National League Cy Young Award, receiving 28 out of 30 first-place votes, and becoming just the 7th pitcher in history to win the award in both leagues. That offseason, he chose to test the waters as a free agent and ultimately signed with the San Francisco Giants. After a slow start, he found his rhythm. In a summer game against the Rockies, he was unplayable, racking up 15 strikeouts. He strikes out the side here in the 6th, looking like the Snell of old. And in his very next start, the impossible happened for a guy who has been pitching like the best in the world these days. Blake Snell winds up and hits a high fly ball, is tracked down by Yastrzemski in deep center, and history is officially made. Blake Snell locks in the very first no-hitter of his entire brilliant career. That legendary performance didn't just break records, it also secured his first victory wearing a Giants uniform. But let's pivot to the bank account and see how those wins translate to wealth. While still grinding through pre-arbitration with the Tampa Bay Rays, he was pulling in a modest $537,000 annually. Then came the big payday in March 2019. Snell inked a massive 5-year pact worth $50 million, locking him down with the Rays through the 2023 season. That contract shattered records, standing as the biggest deal ever handed to a major league pitcher before reaching salary arbitration eligibility. But when free agency hit, he gambled on himself. In 2023, he boldly turned down a qualifying offer of $20,250,000 from the Padres to test the open market. The San Francisco Giants won the bidding war, signing him for a staggering $62 million over 2 years, with a strategic opt-out clause included after year 1. So the man is undeniably wealthy, but how does a superstar pitcher blow that kind of cash? Let's inspect his luxury real estate portfolio, starting in Florida. While pitching in the Sunshine State, he dropped $875,000 on a waterfront mansion in St. Petersburg. He immediately sank another $200,000 into a custom luxury pool featuring a massive stone arch waterfall and spa. This 3,000 square foot estate boasted 4 bedrooms, a dedicated game room, and a fully equipped outdoor kitchen with a bar and grill. For his water toys, the property featured a 7,000-pound boat lift and dual lifts for his jet skis. He eventually flipped it in 2021 for over $1,436,000. Upon moving to San Diego, he leveled up his garage with a stunning Maybach GLS 600 to cruise the California coast. That ultra-luxury ride cost him a cool $227,000. Not stopping there, he grabbed a custom Ford Raptor truck for $110,000 a few months later. His sneaker game is equally expensive, with a Jordan collection valued at over $10,000 stored in the custom shoe closet of his Seattle off-season home. Shifting gears to his personal life, Snell met his partner Haley Ryan 3 years ago, and they have been inseparable for the last 2 years. A USC graduate and digital sports influencer, Haley is a powerhouse in her own right within the sports media world. The couple welcomed their first son in 2024 and currently manage a pack of 3 dogs, including one named after baseball legend Ken Griffey Jr. Interestingly, Haley's sister is dating NBA superstar Zach LaVine, making Blake and Zach practically family through this connection. When the press asked the two athletes who would dominate the other's sport, the friendly rivalry heated up immediately. Blake insists baseball is the harder sport, claiming Zach couldn't touch him, even though Blake can hold his own on a basketball court. He claims his jumper is decent, but emphasizes that Zach LaVine has zero chance of hitting a major league pitch, it's not even close. However, LaVine silenced the doubters by stepping into the box and crushing a home run way over the fence. Off the field, Snell is a hardcore gamer, obsessively playing Call of Duty and MLB The Show when he isn't pitching. He famously lost his mind when his digital avatar was given an 82 gold rating, screaming about the absolute disrespect of that score. You can frequently catch him live streaming on Twitch, where he plays with fans and famously bonded with streaming legend Dr. Disrespect over video games. In fact, his iconic nickname Snellzilla was originally his older brother's gamer tag, which Blake ruthlessly hijacked for his own personal brand. His inner circle includes iconic receiver Odell Beckham Jr., though they tend to roast each other constantly on social media. OBJ once posted that Blake looked like the character Stinky Peterson from Hey Arnold, prompting a swift and hilarious rebuttal from the pitcher. Blake fired back, reminding Odell that he couldn't hit a fastball to save his life and dismissing the joke as cheap engagement bait because Odell is popular. Despite the banter, they trained together. Odell actually introduced Blake to the world of high-end personal chefs to fix his nutrition. Blake hired Chef Tyon Thomas, paying him $10,000 a month to live in-house and cook every single meal to perfection. That clean diet is paired with a strict lifestyle. Snell claims he has never touched a drop of alcohol in his entire life. Another massive name in his phone is Aaron Judge, though on the field, Blake prefers to strike him out rather than chat. But it hasn't all been smooth sailing. In 2018, despite a 12-4 record and a 2.09 ERA, he faced a major snub. He held the lowest ERA of all qualified pitchers in the American League, yet was shockingly left off the original All-Star roster. Fans, analysts, and players were furious at the selection process until justice was finally served for the young ace. When Corey Kluber bowed out due to injury, Snell took his rightful place, finally earning his first career All-Star appearance. However, his biggest controversy erupted before the delayed 2020 season regarding pandemic pay cuts and player safety. Snell bluntly stated he would not step on the mound if his salary was slashed, prioritizing financial logic over emotional appeals. He argued that fans asking him to play for the love of the game didn't understand the life-threatening risks involved in playing during a global pandemic. He refused to accept a 33% cut on top of prorated pay, arguing the math simply didn't add up for the risk involved. In his view, walking away with only 25% of his contract wasn't worth the potential long-term health damage he might suffer. He emphasized that if he contracted the virus, the lasting effects on his body could ruin his future earnings and career forever. While he later admitted the comment sounded selfish to some, he stood by the logic that high physical risk demands full financial compensation. Critics and commentators absolutely roasted him, arguing that his comments were wildly insensitive and completely divorced from reality during the global pandemic crisis, regardless of whether you believe his logic actually held any water. But you simply cannot articulate it that way. The man was just chilling, streaming video games in his own home, feeling totally safe and unguarded in what he thought was a private sanctuary. I sincerely doubt he ever anticipated that a casual gaming stream would trigger such a massive explosion of backlash and bad press, although surprisingly a handful of other analysts actually rallied to his defense. Blake Snell, a powerhouse player some of you might just be discovering right now, was clearly agitated, and honestly, once you hear him break down the situation, his frustration starts to make a lot more sense. And now for the moment you have all been waiting for, let's talk cold hard cash. You have got to be curious about his financial standing, especially since he just inked that record-breaking contract we mentioned earlier. That signing marks the single biggest payday of his entire professional journey, so his net worth is guaranteed to shoot through the roof. But let's not forget what he has already banked up to this point. When you tally up every single paycheck and contract bonus he has collected from the league so far, the grand total of his career earnings comes out to a massive $79,500,000. Thanks for watching.